Good day, friends. I'm here with a new project, and now I am self-employed. We are flying. So what we got today? Well, we've got a bass in today, and a very nice bass it is. And let's get it out of its case. Nice Thoman gig bow there. What a great looking bass. And we'll lift it up, lift it out. There's some strings there, which is fantastic. Move it out of the way, and yeah, very, very nice. But you can probably see, just show you. It's a jazz bass, beautiful, beautiful looking thing, and it's a Squier. And wow, what a great, great looking bass. Let me just get this down here. Sort this out, sort myself out. And yeah, what a stunning bass. And looking at it straight away, you'd be thinking, well, what is doing to that? Looks fantastic, but I can tell straight away. Saddles are too high, strings are too high, the action is massively high. And with that you'd probably think, okay, maybe the neck's not set right. Well, the neck isn't set quite right. There's a massive amount of relief in there, far too much. So it's coming in, definitely, it's coming for a setup. And I already know there are one or two high frets. We won't know more about that until I've got the strings off. But yeah, what a stunning, stunning bass. Look at that. It's a beauty, isn't it? Great. I'm glad this is coming because I do have a bass at the moment. I have a 1980s Charbel made in Japan, which is fantastic. But I always wondered what these Squiers were like, and looking at this, the neck is very impressive. I love this kind of neck. It looks, if you put a fender badge on that, you know, from a distance you wouldn't know it's not a fender. The body itself is lighter than the neck, which is a shame because it ought to be the same colour, but what a great looking bass. So without further ado, I shall have a look at loosen the strings, have a look at the truss rod, make sure that's working alright. And once it is, then we're going to level the neck, or straighten the neck, shall I say, and we're going to check the frets for level. If the frets are alright, we can just basically add some new strings on and get it set up. I already know that the intonation is going to want changing. The saddles are going to want changing. There's no radius on those saddles at all. The electrics should be absolutely fine, but I will check a couple of things off camera, and I will come back and let you know exactly how it's gone, what we need to do, and then you'll see how I do it. So, not an angle I normally film at, but for the purposes of this video, it will do. So I've just checked the tuning and the intonation, and the intonation is out, definitely out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sort that out right here and right now. I should have cleared the keys away there, but here you go. But anyway, let's have a look. So, I need a flat-ended screwdriver, which I have. D string, very good, 12th fret. Really is quite sharp. It means we need to move the saddle further away from the neck, or further towards the strap pin on this end of the body here. So I'm going to get a good few turns because it's quite a few cents out. Still sharp. Could be because the action is so high. So still going to move this quite a way because it's a long way off. Quite a few things that alter the intonation, and it can be height of the strings, fingerboard, which is going to have something to do with it, string length, there you go. Okay, much closer. No cigar. This doesn't seem to want to move anymore. It's got a little bit tight, but we'll sort it. Should be really close now anyway. But you get the idea. So let's see how, there you go. Okay, I think that will be about there. This is just to get it in a ballpark area before I straighten the neck and change the strings. There you go, that's just about there. It is a tiny bit off, but we'll, like I said, need to get in the ballpark area. That's good. So the E, A and D, G strings are all fine. The D is fine. So we have the intonation done. Now what I really need to do is check the radius. Something I didn't do off camera, which I could have done. Would I be right in thinking this is going to be 9.5? The 9.5 inch radius, same as the guitars. Looks to be a lot flatter than 9.5, but we'll have a look. Looks to be about right. No, it's let's try 12. Looks to be a bit closer. It should be, looks a bit flatter to me. It's a Squier, so it's certainly not a 12. So I would definitely go with, it's got to be a 9.5, 10. I would wager it is meant to be a 9.5. 9.5 is close enough. It's a little bit flatter. It could be a 10. Why would I think it would be a 10? Why would it be a 10 if it's Fender? It should be 9.5 surely. Not convinced. I'll check again with the strings off because I'll get more of an idea. But certainly we need to change the string height on the saddles, because that will be part of the big problem. They're absolutely flat at this end. I'm going to do that when I've got the new strings on. So we're going to take the old strings off. And we're going to have a fiddle about with the truss rod. We're going to get the neck dead straight. So with the string still on, but all loose now, all the strings are loose, that means the neck is as straight as it will go without adjusting the truss rod. Scale length, I don't know what it is. I'm going to check at a 35 and see if it's there. It's exactly what it is. It's a 35-inch scale length, and that's looking good. The neck is straight with the strings loosened, which again is fantastic. So we're going to remove the strings. I won't be throwing these away, even though I will be replacing them, but I will be saving these for the owner of the guitar, and I'll stick him in his case. And if he does snap a new one, he can, I should turn off the amp. I don't need the amp on anymore. If there's a problem with a new string, or it's anywhere down the line, he's got a spare in the bag. Albeit not a new one, but that shouldn't make too much difference. So there you go. Strings not off yet, but as good as. So let's just check while the camera's rolling. So it's a 35-inch scale length. Okay, and that's fantastic news. That is level. So that is really good because it means I've not got to touch the truss rod. I will check the truss rod. Looks to be a 4mm. And it is exactly that. And the truss rod was just off, just nipped one turn. That's it. So just nip it. That's it. Just nipped. That's exactly how the neck should be. It should be level with the truss rod just nipped up. So yeah, good news. Okay, there's a little bit of relief in there now. So I'm going to put a 16th of a turn, maybe even less, a 32th of a turn. That much. That's it. Just to straighten out that neck. Okay, another little bit more. Maybe I should have gone for, should have got greedy and gone for a 16th. A little bit more, there you go. Probably what was I probably done an 1/8 of a turn there. Right, let me see. Yep, that is beautiful. So the neck is straight, with the neck straight, camera still rolling. I'll take my fret rocker. I'm not going to take a marker pen yet, and we'll see if we have any high frets. You know how a fret rocker works. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 different edges, all milled perfectly flat. This is a laser cut one. This is the expensive one, cost me about 15 quid. And what we do is we check 3 frets at a time. That's why we have different lengths, so we can turn the tool as we need to. And we check 3 at a time, and if the middle one rocks, we know it's high. And we already have a high one there. So 1, a little bit there, 2, 3. So we need a little bit of a fret level there. There's 4. I'd have thought a scoot across. 5, 6, 7. So we have 8 or 9 high frets there. So I'm going to give a scoot across. There's only one thing to do there with this, and we're going to level the lot in one go. So I'm going to let the owner know that before we proceed, because it's probably an expense he doesn't know about or is not even considered. I'll get my marker pen, or a marker pen. I'll go with a red one today. And I'm going to mark frets that are high. Because it's not had the guitar long, and it's not an expense. You should expect that's in 2 areas of that fret. I mean, that hardly registers, so I think we'll get away with that on this one. Again, hardly registers, but it is a high spot. Thing is, when I sort out these high spots, this guitar is going to play perfectly for a long time. This is the reason I'm fret friend, by the way, because I'm meticulous on frets. High one there. So we already have 4 high spots over 4 frets. And if I wasn't meticulous about frets, the guitar is never going to play right. There and there. 2 high spots on 1 fret there. So you see where we are. And there. Wow. I could probably get away with doing this without doing too much re-crowning, because, but again, and this is a problem with machine press frets. Like, for instance, I've got a Gibson. My Gibson's been plecked. Well, it was plecked at the factory. It came plecked new, and the frets are amazing. But this one, this is a whole fret on this one. This needs a complete fret level. So I will let Stu know. Again, 2 areas on that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark my neck up, contact the owner, and leave it at that. 2 on there. So there's no way around it. It needs a complete fret level. It's going to add to the expense. This one's quite high as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 frets with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Did I say 10 frets? 10 frets with 18 high spots. The only way I can remedy this is to take a leveling beam, a flat leveling beam, and do the whole lot in one go. Now this leveling beam is perfectly levelled edges again, milled flat, with 400 grit paper on that side, 240 grit on that side, 400 on that side. To remove the main material, we use the 240 grit. We finish off with the 400, smooth it off. Once that's done, where we've flattened the frets, we have to recrown again. Once they've been recrowned, we polish the lot. So that is very time consuming. It's hours of work. On a good day, I could probably do it in 3.5 hours with a complete setup. I'm going to let the owner of the bass know. I recommend we proceed, and we will take it from there. I'll be back with an update. I'm sure it's going to be a positive outcome. The guy is going to okay the work, I'm sure, because it needs doing. But I'll be back with an update as soon as I can. So friends, here we are, and we are about to level the frets on this bass. And I'm going to grab a couple of flat files, because I'm not going across with a levelling beam just yet. I'm going to just go across with a couple of flat files now. Oh, here we go. What I normally use will be my Swiss made number 4 cut, very, very smooth. But because some of these frets are quite high, I'm going with quite a coarse flat, just a flat file. And I marked up the frets, or the ones I need to level and where I need to level them. And this one, for instance, you'll hear a rock. This side, about 2/3 of this fret from here to here. So basically, I'm going to level is take a coarse file using these 2 frets as guiders. I'm not cutting into these. We're going to scratch them, but it doesn't matter because they're all going to be repolished anyway. All I'm going to do is going to remove the excess from this fret. You can see there's filings all over that now. And once I start getting pretty close, I will take the fret rocker again. We'll just check. They're still high. Once we stop getting resistance, we'll know this fret is very close to being level with these 2. Well, in fact, when resistance stops, it will be level. So we have a lot of filings here. I don't know if you can see them or not. I can certainly see them. But once we get close, we are close now. You see, that's it. We have got that levelled. I'm going to now take the smooth file, flat side down, very, very smooth. And again, I'm going to finish off with this file. And that should be it. And that fret is now level. So I'm going to go forward 1 and just check that this one's level with that as well. And that is excellent. So once that's done, let me just zoom in just so you can see those filings there. Can you see here? So we've removed material from the top of that fret. So now we've flattened it, we're going to need to recrown it later. Let me just zoom back out. We've now flattened this fret, this one. And we're going to need to recrown it. That's something we're going to do later. We're going to do the whole lot later. So I'm going to move along, just checking the other frets. I've already checked these. I've marked up what needs working on. The next one was working on. As does the next one. As does the next one. Next one's okay. Next one I want working on. As does the next one in 2 places. Next one's okay, one after that. High all the way across. Next one. Next one. Next one's okay. And second to last one. So there you go. So I'm going to do them one at a time. I'm going to go with the coarse file. Clean file. Flat side. level. I just check one back, one forward, and now we're going to move on to the next one. Always wiping the file. Moving on to the next one. And the next. And we're now removing material all the way along. I'm going to get these done. Got 6 or 7 more to do. I'm going to get these done, then I'm going to come back and we are going to finish off with the levelling beam. We'll do a beam and we'll go across the whole lot with 400 grit just to smooth everything off. So with the frets now levelled, I'm just marking up with a marker pen again, just straight across the tops. And let us dry for a few seconds and we're going across. I've done all the levelling so far with files. What I'm going to do now is going to go across with a levelling beam. And it should only take a few strokes to remove this pen. And what we ascertain is once the pen's all removed, within only a few strokes, we'll then know that the frets are all level along the whole length of the neck. Pretty straightforward. You'll notice I'm donning the gloves. Something I'm just doing lately. I've also got a cut between my thumb and my finger right across there. I sliced it the other day. Been a couple of days healing. It's getting there now. It's not fully healed. But I'm going to wear gloves for the time being. So here we go. So levelling beam. This is a piece of 2 by 1 inch box section steel. Each edge, this one and this one, has been milled absolutely flat, and we have some 240 grit paper on this side, 400 grit on this. The 240 grit I use to remove material, the 400 I use to smooth off. Because I've already removed the material I need to, I'm just going to smooth off. And I'm keeping the nut on. Normally I'll remove the nut, but because it's a base, I'm going to get away with leaving the nut on there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and down just a few strokes to see if we remove the pen. And we're going to follow the radius. And not many strokes at all. And that is all of the blue pen removed. Because that's removed in such a short space of time, we now know that the frets are all level. If we had a high one anywhere, the ones behind it still have blue pen on them. So, absolutely, I've got a little bit of a mark just down there on this side. And that's it, and we are done. And there you see, I'm not using any pressure, I'm just letting the beam do the work. And that is it, these frets are now level. So to prove the level, what we're going to do? Well, I'm going to go across with a fret rocker and I'm going to show you. And that's as difficult as it is to level frets. The job is far from over, because where we have levelled them, they are now flat, and we need to put that crown back in going this way. And that is what takes the time, and what takes even more time is polishing them after that. We're going to go across with a fret rocker again. We're going to go down the whole length of the neck and just make sure that everything is level. I'm all about necks and frets, mate. It's why I'm fret friend, because once the neck is straight and the frets are level, any other problems you can change. The neck has to be right. It's why I'm so strict on necks and frets, because once the neck's straight and the frets are level, that's it. Your guitar has the potential to be an absolute world beater. Even a cheap guitar, if the neck's straight and the frets are level, it can be as good as anything. But you can have the most expensive guitar in the world, but if the neck's not straight, and especially if the frets aren't level, it will never play well. So it just shows. I don't look at guitars when they come in and think, oh, that's only a Squier, or oh, look at that, that's a top end PRS. I look at the neck. I judge a guitar on the neck and the frets, because once the neck and the frets are right, anything else can be altered. If the neck's not right, if the truss rod doesn't work and the neck can never be straightened, the guitar will never be right. So here we go. I'm now ready to crown the frets. So I'm going to remove the gloves in a minute. We're going to get some files and I'm going to show you how I crown a fret, and then I'm going to crack on, get them all done, and we can move on to polishing. Okay, crowning. So looking this way, from this way across the length of the frets, because I've levelled them, they are now flat, and we need to rebuild that crown. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to use 2 files. And what I'm looking to do is, where it's flat on the top, I'm looking to rebuild that crown by removing material from the outside edge and the inside edge. And I'm going to use for that a 3-cornered file. Sure you can see that. And what I'm going to do is, as a file across this way, on the opposite side of the camera, I'm going to actually arc that file in toward the camera. When I come to do this side, I'm going to arc the file away from the camera, and it's going to start and build up this crown either side. Once that's done, I'll go across with the profiling file, which already has a crown in there, and just to remove any burrs and smooth it all off. I'm going to show you 2, but what I'm looking to do is, I have this covered in marker pen. I'm hoping you can see it. The top of the whole fret is covered in marker pen. In fact, these 2, because I'm going to show you 2. I'm going to zoom in ever so slightly. And what I'm looking to do is leave a thin line down the centre of each fret. Taking my file, giving it a wipe, always clean the file. I'm going to start on this one. I'm just going to go across, that's hardly cutting anything, but I'm going to start and gently arc the file toward the camera, and it's going to start cutting. And it only cuts on the forward strokes. I could just do long strokes like this, but going forwards and backwards is also fine. It's not going to cut on the back stroke. And there you go. And once that side's done, I'm going to come across to this side. Same again, but I'm going to now arc the file away from the camera toward the body end of the guitar. And again, and there you go. And we have removed just about all of the pen. We've rebuilt that arc. We're going to blow filings away, and we're just going to take the profiling file and just go across. And there you go. And that fret is now crowned. Where it was flat before, it now has that beautiful crown. We're going to do the same again with this one. And we're going to do it for all of the frets, all the way on, every single fret on the deck. What I always do is, when I've done one, I just go and check to make sure we've not removed anything off the top, and we haven't, because it's not rocking. So again, same again, wipe the file. It's not a long-winded process, this. You just have to be steady. And there you go. That's beautiful. Again, wipe the crowning file on the profiling file, straight across the top, just removing any burrs. And that is beautiful. And that fret again is crowned. And we check the height. Beautiful. We go one across. Check again, and that's it. It's still level, so we've not removed any height, but we have recrowned both of those frets. So go from there across this way. We have now rebuilt that crown. I have 18 and 19 more to do, so I'm going to crack on, get them done. Once that's done, we're going to move over to the other table, and we're going to bring these back up. So we're going to polish them. Not only are we going to bring them back to a shine, we're going to remove all the scratches and bring them back to a shine, and they're going to look like glass once they're done. And here we are, just finishing up on the polishing. I didn't polish with sandpaper, I polished with polishing rubbers that I bought years ago from Crimson Guitars, and I have 4 different sizes, and you have coarse, medium, fine and super fine. And you start with the coarse, it's a matter of just going over the frets. And this has got like filings inside this rubber. So it's used for polishing. Polish has a great effect, and you go through the grades till you finish with super fine, and once you've done, you finish off with finest grade steel wool, which I have done. Just got this one to, well, it was done, but all we do is that, and I guarantee we have removed all of the scratches, and we've brought these up to a beautiful glass-like shine. These frets will play absolutely superb. To give you a little bit of a closer look, hopefully you'll just get the idea. Hopefully you can see there. Very, very good. So that is the frets finished. I'm now going to move on. We're going to do the setup. I've got a new set of strings to put on, slightly thicker gauge. These are a 45 to 105 gauge by Rotosound. I'm going to stick them on. I'm going to get over to the bench, get them on, and we're going to get the guitar set up. and it should be ready to go. One thing I'm going to do as well, I'm going to check the electrics. I know some of these pots are a little bit scratchy, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the control plate. We're going to give them a spray with some service oil, which is a switch cleaner, and we'll get that all right. We'll get some strings on, we'll get the radius set at the bridge, and we'll get all the action and everything done, set the guitar up right, and it will be ready to go. And here we are, fret friends, and the bass is all finished, and I've scooted on a little bit from the last time you saw it, and it is all done. And you'll see I've got a lead in there because we are going to test it. But let's just recap what we've had done with this bass. Well, it came in, needed a setup, and the setup obviously it's been done, but on checking the frets, realised that it needed a fret level. The frets were all over the place, up and down. I think maybe 9 or 10 in all that we did. So I decided to, well, there's only one way to do it. I had to skim across the whole lot, level them all, recrown them, get them all polished up, and it looks fantastic. Those frets are amazing. A little bit more on the expense, but I did do a favour for the owner of this guitar because he is a new client, obviously. So doing a bit of a favour there. And something else I did, the pots were all crackling. They are now all fine. Listen, no crackle. Give them a good spray of service oil, switch cleaner. Been using this stuff for years. It is really, really good stuff. So no crackling pots, new set of strings, rotor sound, 45105 set there. That is on, and the guitar, the bass plays fine. I've got a nice clean channel on my little Fender amp there. I'm not a bass player, so don't expect anything fantastic. But just play a couple of notes and a couple of chords. And the keen-eared among you will notice that that is a Public Image Limited tune. It's the bass line, what's the way I play the bass line to a song called Low Life, classic track. But there you go. Squier Jazz bass, set up, fret level, all fixed up, ready to go, and project is finished. So, till next time, fret friends, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you soon.